Daily Broadside, day 627. So let's get into it. The obvious, the hair. Okay. This is the first time I've shown my hair in quite a while. And why is it such a damn long mess? I'll tell you what's at. If you ever see Mr. Mom and Terry Garr, who was so hot back then, she's talking to Michael Keaton, and they're discussing some stuff and whatnot, and he's like, oh, the hair, the beard, you like the beard? It's in a transitional phase. Well, my hair's in a transitional phase right now. And why am I doing this? I'll tell you why, for $500. My buddy and I, who I met in 6th grade, we had three different elementary schools that merged into one middle school. He came from one, I came from one across town, different side of tracks, and then we became friends. How do we meet? We met in between first and second pink period. I think it was like first homeroom and then second. We had like this 15-minute break, right? And every morning, me and some of the other jean-jacketed, metal-patched losers would go out and smoke cigarettes in between class. And we'd be in our jeans jackets pulling out our Marlboro Lights because that was what you smoked back then. Because we knew we could go to the Rago Food Mart and there would be a dude there that would sell us cigarettes. I mean, we were like 13, 12, whatever the hell you are in 6th grade. And they just sell you cigarettes. I also knew a couple hotels that I could ride my bike to, and we could buy them out of the machines for $1.50 or whatever they were back then. Cigarette machines were so cool, man. You just pull that thing, that sound of them coming down, y'all don't know what you're missing. But anyway, we met smoking cigarettes, became fast friends, and been friends ever since. And we would even smoke, there was a big field, and we would walk from the 6th grade wing over to the band physical education wing and just smoking a cigarette right in the middle of the damn field. Nobody ever said anything. And it was so obvious what we were doing. I don't know what these principals were doing, but just a clear view of the coastline would have told you they're smoking cigarettes, Principal Skinner. Nobody ever said anything. But anyway, so we got a bet going. My bet to him is that he won't get a tattoo of the Buc-ee's logo. Why the Buc-ee's logo? Because that's what popped into my head when I was trying to decide what stupid tattoo he should get. Now, he doesn't. He can get it in a discreet place. He didn't have to get it on his neck or anything. But he has to get a tattoo, pool ball size of the Buc-ee's logo. And I have to get dreadlocks. And I was like, I've always wanted dreadlocks. And what better thing to go with this ugly face than dreadlocks? That's what I'm talking about. But, he hasn't done his part yet, but, he could go tomorrow and get a tattoo of a Buc-ee's logo. I, however, am, halfway to my journey, My hair comes down to it's almost covered my ears, so I'm halfway to locking it up, And then I'm going to sell them to Locks of Love. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't think you sell dreadlocks to Locks of Love, but anyway, I was talking to some girls last night on a 3-way conversation. Settle down. And we were talking about how, I said, I bet you money that several people, at least one or two, that have fake breasts. And she's like, yep, I do. And I said, and I bet you $1 million that you've felt every one of them. She's like, yeah, I have. And I'm like, see, that's the difference between men and women. Y'all always just showing each other stuff. And it would be so weird if dudes were like, hey, you want to see my ball implants? And not only that, not only whipping it out and showing them, but then being like, man, get a feel of these things. One of them's titanium, And you're like, man, that's impressive. That feels like a real, I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I think they do have, I think you can get ball inserts. In fact, I follow a guy, Furious Pete, on YouTube. Big, strong dude that does food challenges. Very, very nice guy and all this. But sadly, has had both of his testicles removed. I don't know what that does for you and all. He doesn't post as much as he used to. But I think that they make ball filler, fake nut things. I don't know what they're called. They're probably called ball filler fake nuts. I mean, that's what I'd call them. BFFN, ball filler fake. Yeah, I got that right. So anyway, I was like, yeah, it's just strange, the difference between men and women. Because if my buddy, if I had a buddy named Chuck, and he called me up, he's like, hey, man, I just got out of post-surgery. I'm post-op and recovery. Everything went well. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, I got my fake balls put in today. And I'm like, why are you calling me? And he'd be like, well, I just wanted to let you know, I was, let you know that I came out on the other side and everything's good. And the doctor said I'm going to have a full recovery. And I'm like, seriously, why are you calling me? I'm at work right now. Like, you calling me about your balls? Like, I don't care. Like, do you, you know? And then the next time I saw him, I'd be like, did you really call me the other day? Tell me about your testicles. He'd be like, yeah, you want to touch them? No, I don't want to touch them. I don't want to see them. I don't want to have this conversation again. I'm going to pretend it's out of my head. I'm going to pretend that you didn't even have this conversation with me and that you don't have a fake ball in your pant right now. It's just weird. And women are all like, oh, girl, let me come over and squish them, you know, which, hey, I ain't mad at you. I get it. I mean, I wish I had girlfriends like that. Never been with any girl that had fake breasts. Of course, then again, you can logically assume that, you know, I kind of look at it like, if I can touch them, they're not fake, you know. So really, there aren't any fake breasts. But I just want to go to like a concert. I was talking to a girl a while back, and I was like, can we just take you to a fake breast person, or cosmetic surgeon, just so that I can go in the consultation office with you and just feel the little the implants. I just want to feel what they feel like, because I can't wrap my mind around if I'd like it or not. You know what I mean? And I said, we don't have to get you any. You know, you don't need. That's not the point. I just go in there and act like you want some. We'll waste 30 minutes of his time, and I'll be over there like, I kind of like the 80cc. I have no idea if that's like a G cup. I don't know what 80cc's is. I don't deal in cc's. I also don't deal in millimeters. I was having to put something together the other day, and I was having to convert it to inches. 19 millimeters doesn't convert anything close to anything on a tape measure. It's crazy, or whatever it was. It was like, you know, it was like 7 inches and, you know, 3/14. And I'm like, what the hell kind of fraction? How am I supposed to? Anyway, nevertheless, I don't know what 80cc's is. That could be a really small breast, or tells me, I kind of think that would be really big. 80cc's, because what's an IV bag? I don't know why I'm even thinking about this, because it's not like I'm going to know the answer to it. But anyway, I talked about Buicks yesterday, and I'll talk real quickly about Chrysler LeBarons. I lived with these two girls my sophomore year in college, and one of them had a Honda Accord that I wrecked in the snow, because we lived at the top of a mountain, and she needed me to go out and get her cigarettes or something. I don't know what she needed, but she needed something. And I'm like, there's like 8 feet of snow on the ground. I'm not taking my Blazer out there. I was like, I'll wreck. Have you seen the hill that we live on? Because it was like, you needed 4-wheel drive to get up to where we lived. So she had like a, I don't know, it's probably like a 91 Honda Accord, 5-speed, 2-door, right? I love driving. It's a fun little car to drive. Teal, as I recall. And she's begging me. She's like, oh, I gotta go. And I'm scared to drive. And I'm like, well, I don't want to drive. I said, I can't change the physics of snow. I'm a good driver. But then so finally she cons me into it. I'm like, all right. So me and her and the other girl, we pile in the car, and I'm like in first gear. I'm creeping along. Sure of the world. Go around the first turn. And it was like a switchback series. Go around the first turn, slide right into a damn dumpster. And I'm like, are you happy? I said, I kind of predicted this is what was going to happen. There's a damn foot of snow newly fallen on the ground, you know? And so then we had to go to like some backwoods. We had to go to Iredell County, North Carolina, some backwoods thing one of her redneck friends knew about. And this dude fixed her car without her parents ever knowing. She never told him. And I'm like, I'm not paying for this, just so you know. She's like, no, it's my fault, blah, blah, blah. And her and the other girl had worked all summer at a hotel, cleaning hotel rooms. I don't know why they thought that was going to be a good idea. Boy, the stories they could tell. And so she saved up all her hotel money. Well, anyway, the other girl, I don't know why I told that story. I'm trying to get to the Chrysler LeBaron. So the girl had a Chrysler LeBaron, and she let me borrow it for some reason. I don't know what was up with my truck, but I needed a car, so I borrowed hers and whatnot to repair back. I filled it up, and then I took it to the car wash. She didn't tell me that the convertible doesn't work, and it leaked like a mofo. I might as well have had the convertible down. I come back looking like a wet dog. I'm like, I took your car through the car wash. She's like, no, you didn't. And I'm like, yeah, I did. Can you not tell how I look like I've been in a lake? And she's like, yeah, you can't do that. I'm like, you don't say. And I'm like, you should put like a note on the dash or something. Because it was like, there was so much water coming in. I didn't realize there were rips and tears in the Chrysler LeBaron. Screw y'all. You need to make a better product. And I'm glad y'all discontinued that. But I've never been so clean than that day. I had like purple soap in my hair. It was great. Speaking of hair, it's bad, but I'm locking it up. Get it.